been a wild month of releases, so this is very exciting, huh?
Yeah, it really is. It's been a lot of fun. I didn't know when I was shooting Red Notice and True Story that both of them would end up dropping on Netflix in the same month. So it's been a really big 1-2 punch.
Yeah, you're like the Netflix darling right now.
Oh, man, well, look, I don't know about that, but I certainly will take it. It's been a lot of fun, and the jobs are so different, and the characters are so different from each other that it's been a real blast for me. I've been doing this a really long time. I've been acting for over 35 years, so it's fun to find new ways to do something different.
Yeah. Okay, let's talk about Red Notice, because this is like a huge Netflix debut that they had here. Tell me about that experience and what opportunity this character that was unique to you.
Well, look, it's the biggest movie that Netflix ever produced, and it's the biggest box office draw that Netflix has ever garnered. So, I mean, it really hit everything that they wanted it to hit. For me, it was a chance to try something in the action genre that I've always wanted to do, that I've long been a fan of. And it gave me a chance to work with, 5 of the most remarkable talents and personalities in Hollywood. Beau Flynn, Rawson Thurber, Dwayne Johnson, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds. And I'm a big cinephile. I'm a great audience member. I love watching movies, and I've loved projects that each and every one of them had done. So it was, I kind of fanboyed out the entire time. I just really had a marvelous time. And from a creative standpoint, for me, it was a chance to play a villainous role and sort of hit on some fun Bondian tropes and other, sort of fantastical elements of character that I hadn't necessarily done before. And so I really just had a great time.
Yeah. I mean, it definitely comes off that you had a great time with this character, and the physique. What the heck?
Oh, geez, I'll take it. It's funny, when I first read for this, the character was supposed to be kind of pudgy and kind of balding and just a little bit more of a joke. And I was actually kind of looking forward to gaining a little bit of weight and just kind of going in that direction. And it was just a few weeks before we started shooting that Rawson sort of called me and said, "Hey, you know what? I'm thinking actually just to make him a little bit more of a formidable adversary, I want this guy to be a viper. I want you to really get into great shape. Is that doable?" I was like, "Oh yeah, no problem." And I had already started really binging on pizza and donuts. But yeah, I love a challenge, and I love a goal. And so I knew I had 3.5 weeks to go from this to that. That was kind of fun. And at 46, yeah, sure. Why the hell not, man? Get into the best shape of my life.
Given this is the biggest Netflix opening, your whereabouts, a little unclear. Do you think we're getting a sequel? Like, what does your heart say? Do you think?
I think that
we are.
I think we're definitely going to get a sequel. I think there's no way. I mean, listen, that is what my heart says. That's what my heart hopes for. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's out of any kind of logic that, despite the fact that, are we allowed to give spoilers on this or no?
Yeah, it's out.
Yeah, despite the fact that, Sotto Voce gets trounced on by a bull charging at full speed and it gets slammed down a shaft, he can survive that, maybe with some impediment to what his, who he is, but yeah.
If Darth Maul can survive getting cut in half, Boba Fett survived the Sarlacc pit, then you can make it.
Ash, I like your thinking. I want you to get in touch with Rawson right away and start working on a draft.
Right? I got you. Anyone can come back.
I think so too. No, I think it'd be really funny to see him in a neck brace.
Right.
Yeah.
Given that this
but still ripped.
Yeah, he's
like
ripped
torso shown, but just a neck brace. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're actually wearing nothing but the neck brace. I think that's the way in.
That's how we know that he's injured, because he just has the neck brace.
Yeah.
Given that this is a heist movie, I know this is a cliche question, but I do love to ask it. You've been a part of some awesome projects across your career. Have you heisted anything from any of your sets? Do you have a most prized possession?
That's a great question. That's not a cheesy question. That's a great question. And by the way, most actors wouldn't tell you the truth because they want to seem so good and that they wouldn't. Sure, I have. Of course, I've heisted. Let me think for a second. I want to. Oh, what have I heisted? Okay, this is really weird. And it's not a sexy answer. But I take the socks.
You always need socks, right?
Listen. Here's what happens. It's cold in the morning. You get to set. You get in your trailer. You take off your clothes. You take off your socks. And you put on the socks. And you put on the costume. At the end of the day, I just want to go home. And I might make it home in time to kiss the kids and put them to bed. You're getting changed. The socks are really it's the last stage to take them off and then put the other. I've already have the socks on. So I leave the socks on. I steal set socks.
I think this is a great move because I hate socks. I can never find them. Like,
it's true. Not to mention the fact that, and you probably aren't going through this because you're young, but putting socks on is it reminds me that my hips aren't that flexible, and that sometimes my feet. And why does my thumb hurt only when I'm putting this sock on? Like, what the? What shouldn't socks? Why? Yes. Thank you.
And not I'm gonna get your like toenail gets caught on one of the.
It's
threads.
not good. And you're like, oh shit!
So
now
angry.
I need to, yes, yeah. Well, and I don't have a file. And yeah, exactly. It's so true. What the? It's true. Yeah. And actually, while we're on socks, let's talk about this. You know, when you buy new socks and they have that little thread that keeps the nose of the toe of the sock with the opening, it keeps it together. Yeah. And if you just pull it open, sometimes you'll rip the sock. You have to use a seam ripper, and who, Ash, owns a seam ripper?
No one owns a seam ripper.
There you go. And you use the scissors. Sometimes you'll thread it. You'll cut through socks. That's what I have to say, Ash.
Socks. You're so right. You're so right.
This is not where I saw this one going, but I think this is good.
Me neither. But you know what? I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep.
Okay. So you heist the socks. I love that.
Yep.
So you must have this experience because you're in a lot of really awesome stuff like The Office, Community, Arrested Development, like where you kind of pop in, make a huge impact, and then bounce. And I love this.
It's cool. You know, I've been really lucky. I've done some series as a regular. You know, I haven't been in one that's necessarily caught on. I did a really beautiful series for Amazon called Good Girls Revolt.
Yes.
And you know, it was a real shame that didn't have legs because it was just getting started. You know, it used the first season to really sort of get itself on its feet. And I think that the creative minds that were involved with that were just so lovely. And it was a great cast and a great crew. So that was, you know, I've had some disappointments in my career, as we all have, you know, things that we put our heart and soul into that don't quite work. But yeah, you're right. You know, I have had a really lucky time popping into something like Silicon Valley, and it was just supposed to be 2-3 episodes, and it ends up being this character that somehow hits a nerve with the culture, and I get to pop in and destroy the characters' lives, and then pop right back out. And there's something really lovely about that. You know, I feel really fortunate, and I love doing stuff like Community and even The Office, where people, you know, will stop me and say, "Wow, who are you to break up Jim and Pam?" And I'm like, okay, first of all, they're not real people, and second of all, I'm an actor. And Greg Daniels was like, "You want a job?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure, I'd love a job.
Yeah,
I don't want to be reviled by America, but I'd love a job." But it's fun. I love popping into established shows and being able to play a nice, a unique character that I haven't done before. I thought Marky Bark on Arrested Development was so much fun for me,
right?
Because I was a huge fan of the show. I got to work with the great Mitch Hurwitz, who was just a genius on set. And then I got to watch all of these fabulous actors be the characters that I was entertained by as an audience member. I'm a pretty lucky guy.
No, it's awesome. And the reason I bring that up is I just wonder how often you have that effect of people coming up to you and just saying like the most out of pocket roles of just being like,
yes.
Hey, like the Jim and Pam thing of just being like.
Totally. People will come up to me and they were like, "Nip Tuck, you're the guy that shot your friend." And I'm like, yes. Or another guy was like, "Oh my God, did Paulie Walnuts really hit you with the pipe? Like, was that a real pipe?" And the answer is there were 2 pipes in that scene in The Sopranos. There was a rubber pipe for my coverage, and then there was a lead pipe for Tony's coverage. they got mixed up, and
Oh, no.
no, I'm not kidding. I got hit in the knee with a real lead pipe. That was a good one.
Did anything break? Or?
I mean, the pipe dented, and I walked off set thinking, "What the happened?" I was all right.
Okay.
Once we figured it out, we shifted it. But yeah, I had a limp for a while.
Oh
Them's
my
the break.
gosh.
Yeah.
One of my favorite things that you did was the Twilight Zone reboot, that episode that you did.
You're a sweetheart for bringing that up. I loved that.
I loved that show. I don't want to go off on Paramount Plus, but I think they mismarketed the hell out of that show because it was so good, and I was so bummed.
Oh man, I thought they did such a terrific job with that whole series. Listen, I was a huge fan of the original, and what's funny is that episode was the one that always terrorized me as a child. The whole, and that's the thing, right? Like, metaphorically speaking, I was the gargoyle on the wing, right? There's something really neat about that. I had a really good time doing that one. And that was, one of the one, maybe not rare, but one of the times in my career where it was just offered to me. As an actor, I'm constantly auditioning for things, right? And that's my job. And it can be frustrating or grueling sometimes, but it's also an opportunity to act sometimes when I haven't done something in a while. But Twilight Zone was one where we just got that pleasant phone call where they said they'd love you to play this character, and I was just so pleased to do it.
You also we have Red Notice, and then we have True Story coming out on the 24th.
That's right.
And that's with Wesley Snipes and
just this actor, very little known actor comedian named Kevin Hart.
Okay.
Yeah.
He must be up and coming.
Here's the thing. Because I'm in it, people are now going to know who this guy is. It's going to put him on the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
all jokes aside, I do have to say those guys were phenomenal to work with. And Kevin is just such a professional. He's so great. And their chemistry, Wesley and Kevin's chemistry, is out of this world. I think the show is awesome. It's like a serialized Goodfellas. It's got a Scorsese-esque vibe to it. Have you seen any of it yet? Have they screened it for you?
No, not yet.
Well, you're gonna love this.
Oh, good.
No, really, you are. It's. I think that you're gonna watch it in a weekend, and it's one of those things where you're like, okay, I got to see the next one, and it's such a great turn for everyone involved. Kevin is giving a tremendous dramatic performance. Wesley is just like movie star out the wazoo. Billy Zane coming in from left field, just rocking the world, just like so good. But everyone, I mean, I love Paul Adelstein. He's so good in this. And me and my buddy John Ailes playing the Greek gangsters. It's really just you're gonna dig it.
I'm excited. No, that was a sell. You got me hooked. I need a good like weekend binge. Like
I want to know what you think after you've seen it. Seriously.
Oh no, I will genuinely tell you.
Okay, good.
I'm also dying because I feel like you play a lot of villains and you're like Fox, and I'm like, this is Mickey Mouse.
Yeah. Okay. So now let's. Yes, fair enough. I do lend my talents to the iconic Mickey Mouse, but I am not Mickey Mouse. I just give him his voice.
Right. Yeah. Disney will come for us.
Yes. Now, I play some villainous roles, but I'm a father of three and happily married. But yes, I do have the privilege and the joy of being able to say, well, hot dog, and that's the job of a lifetime. I have to tell you, that is more fun than you can possibly imagine.
I'll never get too old for that. Like you could, like as soon as you did the voice, I was like, ah!
It's so much fun, man. I can't even tell you. It's like, I don't know how it happened, how I am lucky enough to be this guy. Look, that's my Mickey. Isn't that cool?
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Is that in your pocket?
I know.
Where was that?
It's awesome. Yes, it's just I have all my little props here, Tres comas. Yeah. Anyway, yes, I am a lucky dude. The animation part of my career was one that sort of sprung up it really sort of inadvertently and kind of out of nowhere. And before I knew it, I'm just working on some of the most delightful animated programs. And during pandemic, I got to do some adult animated, not only comedy, but adult animated drama, Invincible, and this great new show that's coming out for AMC. They're trying their hand in animation. It's called Pantheon, and it's amazing. I I just say keep them coming. I'm having such a ball.
I love that because you've done a ton of DC voices too, like Green Arrow, some Steve Trevor. When are they gonna put you on the live action side? I feel like they need to.
Listen, I'll tell you for sure. I think, you know what I would love to do for Marvel? I want to do a Moon Knight series.
They're doing Moon Knight series. What are you talking about?
Are they? Oh, did they do it? Oh,
they're doing a live action version. Sorry, I genuinely, the reason I was like, what are you talking about? Are you in it?
No, I'm not. But I'd love to do that. Or you know what I was also thinking? If they're listening, they should do a Green Goblin series and I should play Norman Osborn.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay,
did you watch the new Spider-Man trailer?
Yes.
Yeah, he's like in it.
I know.
But it's like multiverse, so.
I know. You never know. No, I completely agree. I think that a DC or a Marvel on-camera character for me would be fantastic.
I think that would be
ready.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
We're ready. So you would want to do Norman Osborn.
I think that would be super fun.
I think that'd be
also,
fun.
you know, they did a graphic novel of, I've already played Green Arrow, but they did a graphic novel called The Longbow Hunters that was so good. And I thought that series could be a really neat limited series. And he's sort of a slightly more older, weathered Oliver Queen. That'd be fun.
That would be fun. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, this has been an absolute pleasure. I really like chatting with you. So
yeah, this was fun. Let's do it again.
Let's do it again.
Yeah. I'm just going to try and come up with 2 major blockbusters that are both premiering in the same month, and then we'll find a chance to talk again.